All right, guys, we're doing You Say by Lauren Daigle today. Let's take a listen. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. So it's pretty much 4 chords the whole song. Some songs are like that. Hello everyone, I'm Sean Cheek of webpianoteacher.com. Been teaching for well over 30 years, the last 12 years online. And I thought I would just show everyone this on YouTube and on Facebook because a lot of people want to learn this. And I'm even going to show you how to put melody in the right hand. Okay, so you can actually, play it as a piano solo if you'd like to do that. So let's get started. It just has 4 chords to it. The chords are F major, A minor, D minor, and B flat. Now I'm not using notation up here like you see traditional music notation with the 5 lines and the 4 spaces and the dots and all of that. That's great to learn to read music. It's a great skill. But a lot of my followers just want to play by ear and I need a different way to learn because music can be a roadblock for some people. So that's what we're doing here. So F, A, C, A. It's an F chord, right? An F chord, if you didn't know, has F, A, C in it. All right? And you don't have to know anything about piano or music to look down and find an F on the piano and play F, A, C there. All right, so we have F, A, and C in the chord, even though it's kind of mixed up, right? You have A, C, F instead of F, A, C. It's still an F chord, even though it's kind of mixed up a little bit. And on the left hand, what I'm going to do on the recording, she kind of doesn't have very much bass in there, especially on that chord. I'm going to go ahead and put a bass note in the left hand. It's just going to help us to play it, okay? Because we're not a whole band. We don't have a bass and drums and everything. So just to help us out, I'm going to put a bass note down here. In the left hand, an F. In the right hand, F, A, C. Now first, before we do this pattern, I want you to get the feel of the chord in your hand, okay? A, C, F with fingers 1, 2, 5, and we're just going to play it 4 times. Like that, just to get used to it, okay? A, C, F, left hand on an F. 1, 2, 3, 4. In a minute, we'll play it like this, but you need to get the feel of that chord in your hand. You need to just get a good memory of how that feels. Now the next chord is an A minor, and if you're wondering the difference between a regular chord and a minor chords kind of sound sad. Major chords are happy, minor chords sound sad. There's a reason for that, but if you hear a kind of a sad sounding chord, it's probably minor. I have the A in parentheses because, like I say, she's on the recording, she kind of does that. And I think for our purposes, it's going to be easier just to play an A right here, okay? I like to try to be exact as I can on true to album versions, but sometimes we have to tweak it a little bit to make it work for us on solo piano. The right hand is A, C, E, so that's just a root position chord, so the A happens to be on the bottom, so we can really tell what chord it is. A, C, E, left hand on an A, 4 times, like that. You can use fingers 1, 2, 4. You can use 1, 3, 5 if that's more comfortable for you. Okay. The next chord is a D minor. Okay, so it's going to sound sad, right? D minor sounds sad. So D in the left hand, and then in the right hand I'll have A, D, and F. All right. That's one of those that's kind of mixed around again. D, F, A is the root position of that chord. Mix it around a little bit, mix the letters up. A, D, F, still a D minor. Give me 4 of those just to get used to it. Now, we'll go to B flat, and I'll just play a single B flat on the left hand. Okay, a flat just means we're going to go to the left and play the very next key, whether it's black or white. Most of the time, it'll be a black key. Okay, so here's a B flat. Right hand, We have F, B flat, and D. That one's a little bit tougher because you have to move your thumb up, because our thumb is shorter than our other fingers. And when we have our thumb on a black key, we have to kind of scoot in between the keys like that. And you've got to get used to that and familiar with having this finger in between two black keys. B flat, D, F. Give me 4 of those. Now, go to the beginning and try to work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, you notice the trouble is doing the change, getting from one chord to the next. Kind of like on a guitar, when you play chords on the guitar. Once you get on the chord, yeah, you can just strum and go to town. But then when you have to change, that's tough. And that's what you have to work on, is the change from one chord to the next. Not just playing it after you're already on there, but getting to it in the first place. So practice doing that. ACF with 1, 2, 5 to ACE with 1, 2, 4. Fingers 1, 2, 4. F, A minor, F, A minor. Get used to that. Now let's try the next one. A, D, F, D minor, F, D, and a D. I'm going to use 1, 3, 5 for that one. Now try to go to all three of those. 1, 2, 3. Work on making that change from one thing to the next. You'll practice this way instead of just jumping in and trying to play it like she does. In the beginning, it'll make it a lot easier for you. The last chord, B5 chord. So let's see if we can make the change to that one. Okay, there we go. Now, after you get that down, then we can try to play it in the broken chord pattern is what we call it, okay? So notice that if I just do this, and I played it fast on purpose because it sounds really hard, and you go, oh man, that sounds really hard. But it's really a simple thing. It's just a chord played in a pattern, okay? And then the next chord is the same thing, 3 notes played in a particular pattern. So if you can figure out the pattern, then you have you can do it. You can do it with time and practice. So we're going to go F, A, C, A. That's the pattern. Da, 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 da. High note, low note, middle note, low note. Okay, so your thumb plays every other time. A note, thumb, 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 thumb. Notice your thumb's on an A all the way to that last chord. Then you put it on the B flat, okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the key to playing a broken chord pattern is not to stay stagnant and still. It's to move a little bit. So what I'm going to do is exaggerate my movements so that when I go to play it normally, it's going to feel really comfortable, okay? It's like if you overdo something, on purpose, then it feels kind of not so bad when you go back and do it normally. You feel more comfortable with it, okay? You exaggerate emotion. It'll help you when you go back to the normal way of doing it. So I'm gonna do this on my wrist. I'm really gonna go back and forth and exaggerate that motion and stay loosey-goosey. My elbow kind of goes up and down a little bit. Right, if you go fast, your arm fat will kind of shake. If you have arm fat. All right, so 1, 2, 3, over and over. Let's try it on the next one. See the exaggerated movement? I exaggerate that motion. It's the same pattern on every chord. And then when I go back to play it, then it's easier to play it. I exaggerated the motion, so now the motion is not unfamiliar to me. It doesn't feel weird. I'm used to it. Now back off of it, okay? All right, it's like if I need to play something really soft on the piano, then I'll play it super soft and practice it super soft so that when I go back and play it the normal soft that I want, it actually feels a little bit loud. It feels more comfortable. So that little technique of exaggeration will help you in your practice. All right, so the other thing is the pedal. You want to change the pedal every chord. One pedal for the F chord. Change. You can see my foot. It's doing this. My foot goes down, and I'm talking about the damper pedal. If you have a piano, a regular piano, it's the pedal on the right. And you're holding it down. You start with it down. Put your foot down, and then you go. You see, A lot of people will lift it and then put it down for the next one. But really, when you play the first note of that next measure, that's when it goes up, down. Watch. I'll start with it down. All right, here we go. Up, down. Up, down. That's what my foot's doing. Up, down. If you can see my foot right now, I got a sock on. And I have a switch pedal down here on my keyboard. Start with it down. Up, down. Like that. Up, down. If you learn that technique, that's how you pedal on everything. You catch the next chord in the next measure, what we call it, okay? So one more time to recap. 2, 3. As you learn this, don't rush. The tendency will be to go too fast once you get it down, and all of a sudden you're just blazing through it. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Stay steady. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure. And I'm kind of doing a pinky thumb thing, just kind of naturally. I don't think that happens in the song, but for me, I like to do that. It kind of fills it out. Sometimes we have to do things to fill out the sound if we don't have a band playing with us. Now we're going to look at putting melody in the right hand. Okay, so that's what this next line's about. By the way, you can play the whole song with this, okay? Even the part where it kind of slows down. It's just block chords, okay? It even works on the chorus. You say I am Something you can do though when you go to the chorus is play up the right hand up an octave. You say I am You can do an octave. I'll get into that later, but my point is this works for the whole song, even the chorus, okay? So that's the basic chord progression. So now we're looking at putting melody in the right hand, okay? Notice on the bass, what I did here is I just put F, A minor, D minor, B flat. That's our chord progression. And if you were my student sitting right next to me, which I had for 30 plus years, I write less because I want you to start thinking about chords instead of just being a robot. You know, a lot of people that read music notation are just robots. And it's a great skill to have, but we also want to think about what chord we're on and what the chord progression is doing. It really helps you. It's like a roadmap. All right, so first I'm going to show you the right hand. No, I'll tell you what. First I'm going to show you a left hand pattern. F, C, F, the simplest thing for you beginners or close to beginners, we're going to go F, C, F. It's called octave in a fifth. Okay? F is the octave, and the C is the fifth in the middle. A lot of music is based on octave and fifth, especially in the lower notes in the left hand. So we're going to do this. And that's all we're going to do for that to start with. A minor, we're going to do this. A, E, A, like that. So get used to that. Get used to going from F. Then we'll have D minor, D, A, D, and then B flat. And I'm going to go down here. B flat, F, B flat. I could go up, but I like the lower sound. So I'm going to do B flat, F, B flat. Okay? So this is putting the melody in the right hand. So there's no singing right there, right? She has a big space there. Now I'm going to zoom out so that we can see better. The notes are smaller, but you can still see that, I think. So we have... Oh, while I'm thinking about it, again, my website's webpianoteacher.com. That's how I make my living. If you'll email me at easypianolessons@yahoo.com, I'll send you this whole sheet for free. I'll just send it to you. I may not do that for years, but I may do it for a few days or a few weeks or months. I don't know. But I'll send you the sheet I have for this. Just send me an email. And I appreciate it if you're watching on Facebook. If you share this video on Facebook, I appreciate that. That's a way I can kind of, expand my audience. And so I'm grateful for that. Anyway, so F, A minor, D minor, B flat. And then we do it again. F, A minor, D minor, B flat. So get your left hand used to moving around like that. Okay? So this is not in the song. This is us arranging it for piano so that we have melody in the right hand. We don't have to sing if we don't want. We can just do a piano solo on it, okay? So we're arranging this thing. So we're going to have some freedom to do that. So it will involve not playing exactly what the piano's doing in the song at this point. I've already shown you that up at the top. So we have our chord progression on our left hand, so practice that for a while. Once you have that, let's take a look at the melody that we're going to do. C and A, and I'm going to do it 7 times. I have a little shorthand, 7 times. Then I'll go to a C, and I'll use fingers 1 and 3 for that part. I'll use a 5th finger for the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, work on that for a while. Later on, we'll try this. See, because this pattern, that underlying current, is always going, right? That current underneath, da, 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 da. And we can kind of satisfy that need to hear that in the left hand. See that? It's not exactly like this, but it's close enough to where we go, oh, that's it, that's it. We can do it up here too. But that's another thing we'll do later. All right, let me try to stay on track. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The next one's E, C, 1, 2, 3. There's a 3 there, and the ellipsis there, the 3 dots. Just telling you, it's a shorthand for me, so I don't have to write it 3 times. A, E, C, D, A. So can you play the melody just like she sings it? I keep fighting voices in my head that say I'm not alone. Okay? Now, if we get the left hand there in there, F, A minor. Now, at that point, she doesn't sing anymore. She just holds that note out. And then you hear the piano. So now we're free to play what we already know how to do. I had a little goodie right in there, but all right. So if we go that far, the singing goes da 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 da. Now I can't remember exactly where the words in the lyric, whatever. I think there might be an A there that she sings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nah, I don't think there's an A there. Let's get rid of that. Now, when she sings it several times, she may sing it just a little bit differently, so you may have to play 2 A's instead of 3 or whatever, but this is the basic way to do it. I was thinking of a different verse or something. All right, so that simplifies it for me. C, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, G. Now we go to A minor. Now what I did, I put a chord in here, C, E, G. Okay, sometimes it helps when you play the melody to have a couple of notes underneath, or at least one note underneath sometimes on the strong beats. I don't want to do that on every melody note, but it kind of helps to fill it out here and there. So I'm going to do it on this one and this one and this one. So it's C, E, G. I'll use 1, 2, 4. A, C, G, F, D. Now I'm free to do this again. Now I didn't write this because I want you to remember D minor is this. And B flat is that. It's kind of a shorthand. That way we think instead of having to have something to look at all the time. Because we're using chords, demonstration, and memory to learn here, which is the way people used to learn music before music notation, is you just had someone play it for you and you watch them. Maybe they had some kind of way of writing a shorthand of what they wanted to do, but it was essentially just a listening demonstration type of learning from one person to the next. It was oral instead of visual, instead of seeing notes on the staff. And I think learning this way really develops the ear far more better than using notation. So that's a plus in that column at least. All right, let's go the whole line now. Here we go. This is the melody in the right hand. Would actually go 2 more times because the verse does that 2 more times, right? Now you're probably wanting, well, now I want to put that melody, what you showed me a while ago, that undercurrent. So what I do on that, F, C, F. Now, before I show you this way may be the only way you can do it right now. Maybe you are a beginner, okay? I don't want you to quit and get frustrated. And most of the time, that happens to people when they try something that's too hard or they expect too much of themselves. Or they, like the song says, say I'm not enough. If you can't do this right away, you think, well, I'm not enough for a piano player. I'm not enough musician to do this. I'm not good enough. I can't do it. You quit. Discouragement is a really harmful enemy of us, right? Encouragement is a very positive force. And I want to encourage you right now, if this is all you can do at this moment, let that be enough. And don't feel like you need to do what I'm about to show you here, because this is for a little more advanced player. Maybe it's something you can shoot for later, but don't shoot yourself down, okay? Every single line tells me I'll never measure up. We can do that in anything, and we can also do it in music when we're trying to learn a piano piece. And we feel like we're not enough, we feel like we're not measuring up. I'm not good enough, I'm not talented enough, I must be stupid, right? Those things that we tell ourselves, and they're very destructive. So let me encourage you to stick with what you can do at this moment. Shoot for something better, but don't be too demanding of yourself, all right? Now, here's what I was doing on that. I just took the F, C, F, the octave and a fifth. Remember that? It's called a fifth because it's 5 notes away. F, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The octave, oct means 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octave and a fifth. And I'm just going to roll that up and down. 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a. So it's da 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 da. Now A minor, we'll do the same thing. Bum 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 bum. B flat, F, B flat. Da na 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 na. A minor, da da da. Now, if you're someone that can sing, and she's singing pretty low here. I mean, this is low for a woman, a female voice. It's pretty much the low end of my register. I have a very high male voice, and that's as low as I can go. She sings that note in this, so it's pretty low. If you can sing along with it while you're playing, that would be really helpful if you can. This is a practice technique you can use to help yourself. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a beautiful voice or not, or even if you're really on pitch that well, as long as you can dun 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 dun. Try it, see if you can do it. That'll help you when you put the right hand with it. So I'm going to show you how this looks when we play the right hand with it. First, I'm going to play it fast to show you what we're going for, and then I'm going to play it super slow, okay? Now, first you got to make it an undercurrent. Don't let it go like a jackhammer or a machine gun. Okay? Roll it. See my hand? Exaggerated motion, right? Exaggerate the back and forth. Flow up, flow down. Now, here's what it looks like slow motion. All right? The ratio is 2 to 1. 2 notes in the left hand for every 1 in the right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that'll be a little tricky because that's syncopated. I don't want this lesson to be too long, so I'm not going to go in too in depth. How do I do that? But now when I get right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's syncopated 2 there. So you can even leave the left hand where it is, put the right hand up an octave. Then go back up. So those are some options for you. What I'm trying to do is open up a world for you to make your own arrangement that'll suit yourself. I don't want you to feel like you have to stick exactly to what I'm doing. Make it your own. And that's the fun thing about music, is we can take the song, play the melody, do the chords correctly, but then the way that we play it and the way that we arrange it automatically, we don't even have to try, it's going to come out sounding like you. If you'll truly get in there and play it like you feel like playing it. All right, we all have individuality, and that really comes out in music, especially. Okay, so that's the verse. Well, this is the long lesson. Probably the longest lesson I've ever done on YouTube. Most of the time I do free part ones, and that's it. But I'm showing you everything on this in the kitchen sink. All right, so when you get to the chorus, you say, I am loved. So I didn't spend a lot of time figuring this out. I just sit down and listen to it and scribble out something that will give you a framework for making this a piano solo piece. But when you get to the chorus part, you say, the left hand can be pretty much the same. I do the octave a little more. I do more of a, I go F C, the octave. But if we're keeping it simple, so this'll, if you'll work on it, you'll really sound like a professional if you can get this going. All right, so the left hand is the same stuff. F, A minor. I put an AM7 there, A minor 7. You know what that means? That means you have an A minor, a 7th, a 7 on the end of a chord just means you're adding an extra note. You're adding a 7th because it's going to be a 7th away from the root. If it's A minor 7, A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes away as a G. So when you see 7 on a chord, it just means you're adding an extra note. So you get that kind of a jazzy sound. The same would be true on a D minor 7 or a B flat major 7 or an F7. It's just an extra note is all it means. I put that because there's a G in the right hand. And the way my brain works, I just automatically thought A minor 7. So, let's get back to business. A, I got octaves here. Now, if that's too much for you to do the whole octave, you can just do single notes. So you do just the top one. Then when you have a bunch of notes, you can just do the top 3. All right, so if you have a bunch of them, just do the top 3. When you have that octave, just do the top note. Okay, so that'll sound like this. See, that'll make it easy enough to where you can do it and it still sounds pretty cool. Just do the top note when you have an octave. When you have a bunch of notes, you just do the top 3. But for those of you who can handle it, let's try all of it. The octave. A, G, A, C, F, A. So we da, 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 da. We have that chord again. 1, 2, 3, G octave, G, C, E, G. Okay, so we have da, 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 da. Now I have a little squiggly line there because we can continue this if you want. See, you can use those notes to do the little undercurrent, even though the left hand's doing it too. I'll play it slow in a minute. Let's get through it. 1, 2, 3, G. Now, we have a little squiggly again. It doesn't matter which notes you choose, as long as they're part of this chord, G, C, E, G. Then back to A, C, E, A. 1, 2, 3, G, A. And then as you're holding that A, you'll add D, F. G, 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 F, F. G, F. And then the whole chord, F, C, A, F, A, C, F. G, F, F, A minor. I just went da, 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 ba, ba, just to fulfill that vocal line. Now you'll see sometimes I'll put the octave and then add the other 2 notes. That's because the chord actually changes right there, not here. And so all right, so let's go slow motion on this so you guys can pick up what I'm doing slow. A, G. Fast. Na, 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 na. Now to make it even bigger, you could play low octaves at the beginning of each measure and do this. See what I'm doing? I'm playing the low and then coming up. That's getting kind of, you know, extravagant doing that. You can also, at the end, a flowing style, and we could stay here all night and think of different ways to play it. But my main goal was to give you kind of a framework to make this piece your own, this song your own, so you could play it, sing it. The message is very strong in the song, and it's fun just to sing it, say the words, or just to play it in a myriad of different ways. Either if you want to make it more complicated or more simple, whatever works for you. So again, email me for the free sheet, easypianolessons@yahoo.com. I'm not going to do that forever, but I'll do it for a while until I get tired of it, I guess. And if you don't mind sharing this on Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook, I appreciate it, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later.